Hello guys, here I have an IKEA HEMNES nightstand or chest in brown, black, and this one is a solid pine 2-drawer chest from IKEA, and I'm going to be building this step by step and showing you guys how I built this. And it took me a little over an hour to build this from start to finish, and I will just show you guys how I did it. And the first thing I do is take everything out of the box and place everything within easy reach so it's easy to build. And I also remove all the little screws and brackets and drawer pulls and everything just so it's easy to access. And these have numbers on the bags, and you'll also need a hammer and a screwdriver or an electric drill. So to begin with, I am starting to look at the instructions, and it here states plainly that first we need to do these the chest sides, and here are the ones that we need. We need to make sure that the indents are on the inside pointing toward each other, and all the holes on the bottom are on one side. So here I'm showing it to you guys that this is how it is, because the bottom is of the bottom of the dresser, and it has numbers there: L1, L2, R2, and R1, so which means left side and the right side. And this is how we built it. And so the next step, we need to use these lock screws, and we screw them in on the outer sides of the outer holes here. And I'm going to show you which ones is going to go not in those ones, but the little ones over there on the side, in the ends. And I'll place the boards here on its side so it's easier to screw in, but then I make sure to place it back on its side, and I'll show you guys how I do this. So to begin with, we're going with bag number 1, and the first thing I do is I open up the bag and put all the screws and the dowels and everything in its separate little organized order, because it's so much easier to build when things are organized. So first we're using these lock screws, and we're going to screw them in at the ends of each chest side here, and make sure that you're facing them in the right direction once you're done screwing them in. And it makes it so much easier to use an electric drill, guys. Here's a reminder to hydrate yourself, because I, for one, once I get busy, I forget to drink, and this is a good reminder to make sure you're hydrating yourself when you're busy building something. So now that those are done, we're adding the wooden dowels here on the sides, and here I'm going to show it goes with those things there, the boards, and that's the sides of the chest. So I'm going to make room for them and place the wooden dowels and place the sides here in the proper place. Once that is done, we are going to put in the lock nuts and placing them inside each place that they need to go in, and screw them in. And again, I'm using my electric drill because it just makes life so much easier, and that's what I'm doing right now. After those lock nuts are in place and tightened, then we add the bottom of the chest here. I think these are like plastic protectors, and they make it smooth on rugs or carpets, and you just place them in the proper place. And it shows here how to place them. It just takes a little while to focus, which I apologize, my camera sometimes doesn't want to focus. But once it shows here that there's a side that is a little higher, and you place it on the bottom of the chest. And if you accidentally put it in the wrong place, it's totally okay. They are removable, and you can place them properly if you accidentally put them wrong, because I do think I placed 2 of them in the wrong place. and I had to remove them and put them in properly, which is just up to you how you decide you want to, how it faces. It doesn't really matter, but it does make it prettier when you do it the right way. So now we're doing the drawer pulls here, and you make sure that the left side go on the left side of the chest, and then the right side goes on the right side, obviously. And there's a little letter to help you where things go, and we place them, and we're just going to screw them in. And we are using the bracket screws or the top screws. I'm not really sure how they're called, but I think that's what they are. And we will screw them in, and with all the drawer pulls here. And once that's done, we will go on to the next step. Now we are doing screwing in more lock screws in, and here it shows exactly where you put them in. And again, you don't want to push them in too far, and here I'm going to show you where I place all of them. We are moving on to pack number 2, and again I am going to organize all of these little tools and screws and dowels in its proper order to make it easier to build and grab as soon as I need it. And this also includes an Allen key, so as you can see in there, and also the nails for the back of the chest. So here it shows what we need to do, and pointing out that we need to add the wooden dowels here, and also to make sure that the holes align in the proper place. And I'm going to place all the wooden dowels in its proper place here. Here we're looking back toward where we place the boards, the insides of the chest here, and it's showing that the holes need to align properly, so it's not this side of the holes, but it's actually this side. And I'll show how I place all of these in the proper place. On this last one, I was actually struggling a little bit, and I couldn't fit them in properly, so I ended up having to remove the wooden dowel from here and placing it in a different way so it fits easier, and it actually worked, so I was happy for that. And once that's done, we're going to put in the lock nuts and tightening them all up together. Then we put the right side over the left side, and again we're using dowels on the top here and putting in the proper place. So then we can just put both of the sides together here. Once that is done, again, we're using the lock nuts to tighten all of these together. Now we're doing the top of the chest, and we need to place it in a proper place here. And again, using lock screws, we are placing them in tight and screwing them in here. And also then we need to place the wooden dowels here, and then placing the chest on its legs and placing the top over here. Now we are going to tighten the top with more lock nuts here. And then also we're going to be using the wood screws here with the Allen key and tightening that here over on the top. Now we place the chest on its front, and we need to put in the back of the chest and make sure it goes into the slotted place to tuck it in securely. And then we're going to put in the nails, first starting with the corners and then putting it all around. So I wanted to mention that these nails are very flimsy and they bend very easily, but they do include extras, which is good. And even though you'll end up throwing maybe half of them away, but you do have extra ones here, so you only need about 20, and I believe they give like more than half more than what you need. So yes, I'm starting with the corners and doing my best to pound them in, and they just keep bending, but I still managed to do all of these in the proper way. And my daughter is here helping me throw away the bent nails into the trash as soon as they get bent, which is funny. You can obviously unbend them, but since we do have extras, I decided it's not worth it, and I just threw them away and used the straight ones wherever I needed to put them in. Now that that is done, I am going to show you quickly how to secure it to the wall, the instructions. I will not actually be securing this to the wall because this dresser is not for me. So I will just show it to you guys how to secure it so it does not topple over if the dressers are open, the drawers. So here we're going to start with the drawers, and since there's two of them, I'm just going to place them together and build them at the same time so I don't have to go over the steps over again. So this is where you are starting with number 3, the pack, the last of it, and there are the drawer pulls and all the screws and everything and the dowels that you need. So we're starting with the dowels here in the center, and now we're going to be placing the screws here as well and placing the sides back against the drawer fronts. And we're going to be tightening them up with some lock nuts. With the lock nuts tightened, we're going to place the underneath of the drawer in and make sure the lines are diagonal, and then you're putting the back of the drawer over that and using these plastic screws and you're using a hammer to put them inside, which is one of my most annoying jobs, honestly, but it has to be done, so I'm going to do that real quick. With that finished, we are going to now add the drawer rails here, and also using these bracket screws or top screws here, and just tightening these up and make sure the wheels are on the other side of the drawer fronts. And this is what we're gonna do right now. With that finished, now we're going to put in the wooden shelf inserts here. So basically we add these wooden boards inside and screwing them in. So this is the top drawer. I don't see the difference between the top and the bottom, but once you put in these wooden shelf things, it becomes the top drawer, I'm assuming, but I'm pretty sure you can use them on the bottom as well, but I'm not sure I can't really tell you for sure. And we're using these little screws here to tighten them in, and you want to make sure it is flush against the front of the drawer. I don't see a reason other than just it looks prettier this way, other than the other side. So we're going to do that and screw them in. I am going to add the drawer pulls here, and just pretty easy here and standard. And now all we have left is to build the drawer insert, and it just shows that you want all the indents here to align so you can place the back easily, and then just placing back of the insert together, and it's just very simple. You're using plain screws here that are included, and just doing this insert is very standard and simple and moves really fast. And once that is done, you place the drawers inside the chest, and that is it. We are finished. And now we're going to put in the drawers here, and these are super simple. And I'm putting the bottom one there, and the one with the insert, I'm placing it in the top. And this is such a beautiful chest, guys. I really enjoyed building this. It took me a little over an hour to build this, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Here is how it looks, the finished project, and I did add the screws to secure it to the wall for the owner of this chest. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in my next one. Bye now.